Starting tomorrow, we don't have to wear masks anymore! Is anybody excited?
All right, guys, so as you see there, that is kids celebrating the lifting of the mask mandates that are going on across the country, particularly in Democrat-run states and municipalities, okay? And the reason why is because the writing is on the wall for the Democrats come the midterms, right? They understand and that they know that these mandates that they have in place aren't exactly popular, right? And this happens to coincide with, you know, it seems like the virus is approaching a seasonal kind of downturn, right? It seems to be what is happening to me, right? It seems very obvious that these spikes in cases seems to be seasonal, right? And because, you know, we're getting towards the end of the winter time here, you're seeing cases start to go down, right? But if you listen to some of the Democrats, they're telling you it's because of Biden, right? This is all because of Biden. It's all because of what the Democrats have done that, you know, the cases are starting to go down, even though I don't think they have much evidence to support those claims, okay? But this is the narrative that they're trying to paint. They're trying to paint the narrative that we are lifting restrictions because we have done such a great job during this pandemic. Therefore, you guys come out and vote for us in the midterms, right? That's basically what's happening here.
The Omicron variant is in retreat. And that's not by accident. That's because under President Biden's leadership, a public health infrastructure was put into place, beginning with the American Rescue Plan without a single Republican vote, to ensure that we can do everything possible to crush the virus. And that is what has been happening. It's because President Biden and Democrats in the House and the Senate have leaned into the science, to the evidence, to standing up a robust public health infrastructure, and now we are seeing the fruits of that work.
And they're doing this even though the CDC has come out and said, no, we still want people to keep wearing masks. You should still wear masks. Before, the Democrats, they used to treat the CDC and their word as gospel. Now, all of a sudden, they're ignoring the gospel of the CDC, right? That's how you know this is all about politics. But there's one mayor that is not necessarily going along with this as of yet, and she got roasted viciously, right? Viciously roasted on Instagram Live for not following in the other Democrats' footsteps when it comes to lifting some restrictions. But before we get into that, I want to remind you guys, if you like what I do and if you want to support the channel, the way to do so is with the links in the description below. You can support the PayPal, you can support the Patreon, you can support the merch. There are multiple ways to support if you would like to support, and I appreciate each and every last one of you that have supported thus far. It really means the world to me. So without further ado, let's go ahead and play this news clip that is going to give us some more insights on the mayor of Boston, Miss Michelle Wu, and her decision not to go along with the Democrats in terms of lifting COVID restrictions, particularly the mask mandate.
Wilmington and Southborough are just some of the communities dropping their mask mandates this week. But as they move forward, Boston isn't budging.
Yeah, Boston 25 News reporter Robert Goulston is live outside of City Hall. And Robert, Mayor Wu is keeping the mandate in place until public health numbers improve.
Exactly, Mark and Vanessa. But for the first time, the mayor explained what the city is looking for before they lift that mask mandate. She says it's not just about the health criteria. She's looking for a consistent downward trend. Walk up to anybody in Boston and ask them about masks.
I honestly think it should just be your choice.
And no two answers are the same.
Once more people are vaccinated and once there's not really all these spikes that we're worrying about and all these new variants.
It should honestly just be your right to do whatever you want.
The mayor already announced the city will lift the proof of vaccination mandate when the health numbers for daily hospitalizations, ICU capacity, and COVID community positivity rate go to safe levels. But for the mask mandate, the mayor is setting one more benchmark.
We need to see consistent downward trend of these numbers so that we are not just kind of dipping above and below and above and below.
Boston City Councilor Erin Murphy helped put together some hearings where residents and her fellow councilors will be able to question the Wu administration directly.
I do think for us, though, as a city, we need to
all be on the same page and understand exactly what metrics we're using.
City councilors and the residents will have a chance to question Wu's team about all aspects of COVID policy in the city.
Here we are in February in a much better place data-wise with coronavirus and numbers going down. That shouldn't we be going in the opposite direction, not in a more restrictive? And if we are, then please explain why.
And City Councilor Murphy telling us they are trying to do at least one of these hearings in person. We are live tonight outside Boston City Hall. Robert Goulston, Boston 25 News.
Yeah, so as you can see there, the mayor of Boston is basically being more hesitant, right, than her Democrat colleagues in regards to lifting COVID restrictions. Now, she went on Instagram Live to, I guess, kind of see how the people were feeling about this stuff, right? They kind of talk to the people, okay, put herself out there or whatever, right? And it did not go as she expected. Take a look.
Oh, so she's unable to join. Okay. In the meantime, I will try to just fill time by answering any questions anyone has. I see a lot of friends who have different. Oh, Happy New Year! Yes, Year of the Tiger. Very, very cute tiger emoji. Okay, I mean we're checking with the Congresswoman's team, and if it comes down to it, I will log out and log back in. We're both connecting with each other. What's my favorite thing about Boston winter? I love snow. I know.
Yeah, so as you can see there, that's embarrassing, okay? That's embarrassing because the people want to know. What the people want to know is about the mandates, right? That's what they want to know about. However, this mayor, despite seeing all the messages about what people actually want to talk about, what she found to be, what people want to hear from her about is Chinese New Year, right? And what she likes about the Boston winter, instead of actually addressing the concerns of the people. And in my opinion, what you just saw there is basically how all the Democrat politicians kind of handled this pandemic, right? Where they pretend that people agree with what they're doing, right, and the things that they're saying. And then when people bring it up, to them that, hey, you know what, we don't necessarily agree with this, they just ignore it, right? And they talk about everything else, okay? That's just kind of what they do. Right, and because the Democrats have basically tried to tell us and convince us that everybody agrees with this stuff, right? Everybody agrees with what we're doing, okay? Which, again, we know that that's not true anymore, because if that was the case, then they wouldn't be lifting these mandates, right? If the mandates were popular, then they wouldn't be lifting them. The only reason they're lifting them is because they know that they're unpopular and that they're trying to win elections, okay? Now, this mayor just got elected. So, I don't think she's up for re-election probably, into another 2 years or so. So she's good. She's Gucci. So there's no real pressure on her to lift the mandates because her job isn't on the line yet. Okay? Her job isn't on the line yet. But again, when you confront it with what the people are actually concerned about, she ignores it. Right? But I again, regardless, I found it hilarious how, she put herself in that situation to go on Instagram Live and then basically get roasted up for her decision not to go along with her other colleagues, right? And then the fact that she doesn't even answer those questions, she's like scrambling to find something to address and something to talk about outside of what the people of her city, her constituents, actually want her to talk about. Again, classic Democrat stuff. Classic Democrat stuff. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.